Hey y'all, thanks so much for joining us today at The Heart. My name is Dominic Insenius. I'm the leader of this church community, and I'm so grateful that you have taken some time out of your day in your journey of faith to be a part of what God is doing here in the city of San Marcos. We have a saying around here, you don't have to go to church here to go to church here, and that means you are welcome to enjoy this message from your tablet, phone, or computer, wherever you're watching it on. Big things can happen when we expect God to move. So I pray today that God would speak to you through this message. The message today can encourage you and empower you to move throughout your week and what's next in your life. So enjoy this message. Hey, what's up, y'all? Hope you're having a great morning this morning. Welcome to our streaming experience this morning. If you are watching this and it is before 10 a.m., I want to invite you to hurry up and run to Hernandez Elementary and meet us there for our vision meeting. For today, we're not having in-person church because we're trying out our new location. We're so excited about that. Father's Day, June 19th at 10 a.m. Come see us at Hernandez Elementary for our first in-person experience at Hernandez Elementary. Today, we are in between our message series, so we're going to take some time digging into some vision. We love talking about vision at The Heart because vision helps us to move forward. When we take time to think about vision that we have for the future, vision that we have for the team in front of us, vision that we have for the message we're doing that week, vision that we have for the band, all of those things, when we take time to do that, we are becoming intentional with our future, intentional with our next steps. And that's vital when it comes to an organization like a church, an organization like The Heart, where we are attempting to grow. We're growing our faith. We're growing our emotional health. We're growing as a community. Our families are growing. So we love talking about vision. And today, the kind of vision I want to share with you is moving back to move forward. So if you don't already know, 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago, we started off meeting at Crockett Elementary. It's an elementary school here in San Marcos, Texas, and we knew someone who worked at Crockett Elementary, and they're like, hey, you're starting a church, do you need somewhere to meet? And I was like, actually, I do, because sometimes I make decisions without planning ahead. So I'm like, yeah, we're going to start a church, and I didn't have a location yet. And they said, do you want to meet at Crockett? And I said, let's do it. So we got ourselves a trailer and a bunch of equipment, and we started meeting at Crockett Elementary, and we were in partly in the cafeteria where the Heart kids would meet, and then we were partly in the gymnasium where we would set up, the platform and TVs and chairs and all that. And we were just trying to do our best to figure out what church looked like on a Sunday morning. And from pretty early on, what we realized that it was so great to be plugged into a local community, not just for ourselves. I mean, we were a community, we were meeting there on Sundays, but being part of a school, being part of where families already gather and a lot of the people in that community gather was really, really great. And what we did is we later on had this amazing opportunity to move towards the middle of town at Evo Cinema, right? Back then it was called The Spot. Us old school San Martians know that it's called The Spot, and sometimes that still slips out, even though now it's Evo Springtown. And so we had this amazing opportunity to meet there. And, we were just there a couple weeks ago, but if you had never been, we were in this great big room. We had this big screen behind us, TVs along the wall. We had lights moving and stuff. So it was so fun and such a cool experience within there. And we are incredibly grateful for what we've been able to do inside of Evo. We were able to grow there for over 5 years, and not counting COVID, which who does? It was a absolutely amazing growth experience for The Heart. Now that we're on the other side of COVID, and it's, like a lot of businesses, a lot of restaurants, a lot of other churches, it's been difficult to gain momentum. Again, life is just different now, and that's just part of it. So we as a community, which you might know, is we have made steps to grow and do different things. So what you're watching here, this started because of COVID, recording messages and being able to put them to where we can watch them in a simulated live environment, or on Sundays when we're able to stream live, which we will get that back going again at Hernandez starting on Father's Day. We've been able to do that because of COVID, so people can experience The Heart without ever coming into the building, because we have a phrase that we love to say here, and that's, you don't have to go to church here to go to church here. And so we've been able to grow all of that through the last 6 years, and also because of COVID and some of the challenges that introduced. But now we have this incredible opportunity to move back to a school so that we can move forward with the vision of this church. To move back to a school, and there are a few cons of not being an Evo anymore, and that's we won't have all those cool lights, and we won't have all the TVs, and we won't have that big screen behind us. But the pros, the gains that we're going to be able to experience moving to Hernandez Elementary are going to be huge. We're going to be able to put ourselves back into a community again. In fact, if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. A step into local community has a big impact on our city. A step into a local community can have a huge impact on our city. And that's what we're doing. We are here for the people of San Marcos. We're here for the people who are around San Marcos. We're here for the people who are watching us online, no matter where you are. But when we make a step and choose to be a part of our local community, that is what impacts a city. It's through the actions of you and I, right? We often talk about when it comes to the heart is not just this faceless organization that does things in the city or that does things on Sunday. It's you and I. We are the ones that get up early on a Sunday. We are the ones that do things throughout the week. We are the ones talking to our friends and neighbors and our coworkers about this community called The Heart and some of the things that we experience there and the way that we have grown there in our faith and in our mental health and all the things in between that. So when we talk about vision for what's next, it's vital that we talk about how we do that. And what I see as the growth for this church, what I see as the growth for this community is digging deep into a small local community, because San Marcos, you could consider it a small town and it's growing a bit. And I love the growth that we have here in San Marcos. But what makes up a great city is small groups of people, individual families, individual people putting in effort to stay in a local community to impact a city in a big way. And so what I am so excited to do, and I hope you guys can share in this excitement with me, is with Hernandez Elementary, I want to know what are the needs of the families at this school. I want to know what are the needs of the parents, the teachers. How can we be a part of what Hernandez is trying to do for the city of San Marcos? And rather than trying to make The Heart a famous church, we want to make God's name famous, and however that comes up, however we can do that, even if that, and not even though, as well as that making that happen with Hernandez Elementary. That's what I am absolutely excited about. I've been able to have some great conversations with some of the teachers there, some great conversations with the principal there, and we are ready to hit the ground running in supporting the school, supporting the teachers, the parents, the students at this school. Now, maybe we can't be in every person's life in San Marcos and The Heart as a community, you and I. Maybe we can't touch every person in San Marcos, but can we take care of the people within this local community of Hernandez Elementary School? I think we can. Looking back over the past 6 years, we had a kind of message of hope starting off, right? I wanted to read a scripture today, and in our first vision meetings, we were trying to think of how can we think big and think exciting, and how can we try to outthink ourselves so we're leaving room for God to do big things. And there's a particular scripture that we kind of prayed on and read to each other and read out loud and all of that kind of stuff. So what I want to do is I want to read it. It's in the Passion Translation, and it's actually in the book of John. So if you're not familiar with the Bible, there's 4 particular books called Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And these are 4 accounts of Jesus on earth and some of the things that he did, some of the ways that he taught. And they're known as the Gospels, the 4 Gospels. So there are 4 different versions or 4 different accounts of some of the things that Jesus did while he was on earth. Now, this one that we're reading in the book of John, John actually knew Jesus, was friends with Jesus. So some of these are written in first person, as if John was hearing this in his own words. So, or with his own ears and writing this down. So what I want to read is in John chapter 14 and verses 12 through 14. Now, in this particular area, Jesus is comforting his disciples. He's got these people that are following him, that he's trying to teach them how to do ministry, how to live life, how to keep this going, because Jesus knew that his time on earth was not going to be a long time. He knew that what he was doing, that he was about his Father's business. He would say that he was creating this new way of connecting with God, this new way of following God. He knew that that was going to get him in trouble. And so what he was doing over the 3 years of his ministry is teaching the people around him how to keep this going, how to think differently about God. How it wasn't to create a large church, it was to think differently and approach faith, life, and all of that differently. And so what he would do, or in this particular area, I want you to pay attention to how powerful these words are that he is going to say. So check this out. This is John 14, verses 12 through 14. He says, I'll tell you this timeless truth. The person who follows me in faith, believing in me, will do the same mighty miracles that I do, even greater, okay? Even greater miracles than these, because I go to be with my Father. For I will do whatever you ask me to do when you ask me in my name, and that is how the Son will show that the Father is really like, what the Father is really like, and bring glory to him. Ask me anything in my name, and I will do it for you. Can you imagine the hope that you would have reading that, hearing that, the hope that you would have for your family, for your parenting, for your job, for your faith, for your life? If you say, if we can follow Jesus in faith, believing in him, then we can do the same miracles that he has done and even greater miracles. What an incredible promise, an incredible phrase for Jesus to say, that if we can keep the faith in him, follow him, believe in him, that we can perform and be a part of and be in greater miracles than he ever was. And you don't have to look far. You can just Google miracles that Jesus did in the Bible, and Google will tell you a whole list of them. I mean, he's healing people who are sick. He's turning water into wine. He's making people who have all kinds of crazy diseases well again. He's reconciling families, and he is saying here that we can do, if we can keep the faith, we can do even greater things than he ever did. The hope that we had there. And so when we started The Heart 6 years ago, we had a lot of hope. We had a lot of hope of what this community could be, of offering a fresh, hopeful Christianity, a different perspective on God, not creating our own religion, not creating our own thing, but digging into spirituality and see how that shows up in our life without prescribing how it should show up. We did a series a few months ago called Shoulda, Coulda, Woulda, which is a lot of fun. So you can go check that out on podcast or YouTube, on not putting should in our life or putting should in our faith. And a lot of times the shoulds in our faith are what get us in trouble and what really break a lot of the relationships and the connections that we have with people in our life. That has nothing to do with this, but that was for free. You should go check it out. Anyway, so if we can do even greater miracles, the hope that we were bringing to that 6 years ago, well, this year in 2022, our word for the year, each year we as a community, as a church, as a leadership team, pick a word for the year that we want to filter our thoughts through, right? We want to filter what we're going to be going towards in the vision. This year, our word is expect. And what I want to challenge you with today, and challenge myself, and kind of as we step into this new adventure for the heart, right? This new phase of our journey, this new phase of our church community, is I want to challenge you. Let's propel hope into expectation. An active faith. Okay, if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. This could be good for you. An active faith changes hope to expectation. When our faith stays active, when we choose to stay with our faith, to trust in Jesus, that faith turns hope into expectation. And that's what I want to do, stepping into Hernandez, stepping into this new phase of our community. Heart 3.0, 4.0, whatever it is, Heart.22. We can bring hope and turn it into expectation with our active faith. That's what I want for us at Hernandez. That's what I want for us as a community, stepping into what's next. Change is incredibly scary. A lot of people don't like change. A lot of people fear change. Change messes up our routine. It messes up what we know. It throws things off. So it takes an intentionality, no matter who you are, to embrace
change, to embrace something new. And so I know I'm asking a lot of you, I'm asking a lot of our team, and I'm asking a lot of myself, is not only just to step into this new phase of our church community with a little bit of bravery, and we want to step into this new change, but I don't want us to step into this change with hope of what's to come. I don't want us to step into Hernandez with the hope of what could be. I want us to take a bold, brave, big step into what's next, not with hope, but with expectation. You and I can bring expectation into what is next for this community. You bring expectation into what is next for your family, for your job, for your parenting, for your relationships. We can move from hope into expectation if we have an active faith, if we are taking risks in our faith. See, if we're taking risks in our faith, then the steps that we take here in the church community, the steps that we take in, you coming to church on a Sunday, or you showing up to serve on a Sunday morning, or you doing some stuff for the heart during the week, or you just inviting someone to church on Sunday, all of that becomes less scary the more active you have your faith. I've seen it happen. For the past 6 years, I have seen people change their lives, change their perspectives, change the way they approach God and faith, all in incredibly great ways because they have taken a chance in risking their faith. They have taken risks with their faith and in their faith. And when they do that, they have seen that hope can turn into expectation. So what I want us to do as we step into the rest of this week, especially as we step into the rest of this year at Hernandez together as a community, and I really hope you can join us. We're finally able to move back to 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. it allows all of us, including myself, to sleep in a little bit more on a Sunday morning. So everybody's going to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Is that still a thing people say anymore? I doubt it is. Everybody's going to be wide awake, looking great, and well rested. So it's going to be at 10 a.m. at Hernandez Elementary. I really hope y'all can come join us. If you're ever in the area, if you're watching online from wherever you are and you're ever in San Marcos, I would love for you to come to Hernandez Elementary at 10 a.m. on a Sunday and come see us, because that is where I believe I have strong expectations. Our team, our entire leadership team, has strong expectations for what God can do and how we can partner with God in this next phase of our ministry, in this next phase of church community at the heart when we're meeting at Hernandez Elementary, because we want to bring expectation to our faith. There's nothing wrong with hope, okay? So I'm not saying that hope isn't important or hope is the least of these kind of thing. Hope is valuable. Hope is critical. Hope is what can lead to expectation. So we absolutely need hope. But what I want to challenge you with is let's activate our faith so much that that hope transforms into expectation. That we bring faith to hope, and that transforms hope into expectation. If you're taking notes, I want you to write one more thing down. When we commit to be a part, we come together as a great community. When we commit to be a part of something, when we commit to be a part of the heart on a Sunday morning, when we commit to be a part of the small community around Hernandez Elementary, we become part of a greater community. We become part of a greater community because we choose to be a part. We choose to be in this community. Who knows all of the stuff that we can help with Hernandez over the years. I have such high expectations of what we'll be able to do, whether it's, like I said, serving the teachers, serving the families in any way we can, being a part of any kind of events that the school has. I'm just so excited for this partnership and for what is next. The last thing I want you to write down if you're taking notes is this: you don't need to sacrifice much to grow your faith and the faith of those around you. You don't need to sacrifice much to grow your faith and the faith of those around you. So here's what I want you to do. Check this out. If you have been coming to the heart for a while, I want to challenge you and invite you to sign up to serve, to maybe sacrifice 1 more hour during the week, 2 more hours during the week. A small connection on your end is a big impact for the heart. Okay, so let's say you're not ready for that. That's okay, don't worry about it. Watch this. If you have been coming to the heart for a little bit or listening for a little bit and you're just kind of doing this on your own, I want to challenge and invite you to invite someone to church, to invite someone to check it out. And maybe you don't want to invite them to church. Invite them to listen to the podcast. Invite them to watch the YouTube. These small things that you do not only can expose someone in your life to a new way of thinking, to a healthy way to approach faith, or maybe a healthier way to approach faith, but it can also grow your faith. Because the truth is, and I've seen it here at the Heart, there are many people that come to the Heart, half of them are on our leadership team, that grew up and said, they grew up in church or went to church and they said, I don't want any more of this. I've seen that it's all about money. It's all about making sure we get land. It's all about what can you do for the church? What can you do for the pastor? And they said, I don't want to go to church anymore. I don't want to deal with it. I've seen that happen. I've heard people say that. So what our goal here at the Heart is, what our goal is, what we want to do is say, okay, maybe a certain version of church is the problem, but how can we get church out of the way and just be a community of people who are seeking faith, who are trying to grow, who are willing to make mistakes, and not only willing to make mistakes, but willing to admit mistakes, to say that they're not perfect. I'll be the first to admit, and anyone I know, I am far from a perfect person. I cuss a little bit. I like to cuss a little bit. I mean, this is, don't show your kids this or whatever, but I am not a perfect person. And I don't pretend to be, and I don't try to be, and I don't want you to be perfect. And I'm not saying that you should cuss, or you should watch rated R movies, or should drink alcohol, or whatever else you were taught not to do growing up. I'm not saying that you should do those things just in defiance and rebellion. I'm saying I'm here to help you find out what faith means for you. And I'm willing to be on this journey with you. Right now, today, as I'm recording this, I'm in the middle of still figuring out what faith looks like for me. I'm just willing to do it together with you, and I'm inviting you to do it together with me. Y'all, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this today. I hope if this message has inspired you, would you share it with someone that you think might pull something from this? We kind of made it a little bit shorter today than our messages normally, so I hope it was a good sized chunk for you to chew on for this week. Remember that a small interaction on your end, a small connection on your end can make big changes to your community and your city. So I hope that your faith grows today. The last thing I want to leave you with is, no matter what you do, cancel all of your plans for Father's Day and come see us at 10 a.m. at Hernandez Elementary. And then, because I think we're going to have a gift for the dads. We might not. Now I promised it. We'll have it. Come on out for Father's Day, and then you can take your dad to Hop Dottie or Pluckers or get him some wings or whatever he's into. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And I love you so, so much. I hope you have a great Sunday, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Y'all, thanks so much for joining us today at The Heart. To find out what is next for you in your journey of faith, I want to invite you to go to theheart.church/next, see what's in store for you, get in touch with us. We would love to be able to connect with you and see how we can partner with you in your journey. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon.